You never mentioned it before.
Well, do you mention all your friends?
What's wrong with you, love? You're really on edge. And come to think of it, so is your mate. What gives?
I think she's missing a boyfriend, you know.
Missing out, you mean?
Like me.
Well, that's easily fixed.
Well, that's all the court procedure you'll need to know for the trial. Have you any questions?
What about Mrs. Jackson?
She'll be appearing as a Crown witness.
That's against me, isn't it?
Right, but your barrister will cross-examine her about your husband and the way he treated you.
Yeah, what about you?
I'll be appearing as your character witness. I'll tell them how you've become involved with Parents Anonymous and...
Do you think that'll help?
Gail, you've got every chance of getting off with a good behaviour bond. But you've got to think positive.
How can I? I mean, I can't stop thinking about what I did to Jason and what's happening to the kids.
Now that they're in the home, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. But, well, say I do get off at the trial. I mean, I still got to go for custody of them. Well, I know I've been a bad mother, but if I couldn't see the kids, I don't know what I'd do.
Look, you've got 6 months to prove that you're capable of looking after them properly. Just concentrate on that. And remember that you won't be alone. Before you had only Tim, and he wasn't much use to you. Now, this time, there's a whole range of people who are willing to help, if you'll let them.
It's funny, really. I mean, before I had no one to talk to. Now I've got you and Mr. Reed and Mrs. Jackson and that lady from Parents Anonymous.
Right.
You've been real good to me. Thanks.
Oh, lie off it, will you be? You're going to knock the press into the middle of next week.
Oh, who cares? At least that way we wouldn't have to slug our guts out in here for a change.
You're bored enough as it is without having nothing to do. At least this way we can keep each other company.
Oh, what way?
You lot, not having to go to the factory.
Oh, shut up, Lizzie.
Shut up.
Rack off, that's my pile.
Sorry? Well, well, it isn't God's gift to little kiddies.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper's back.
You got to be sick in the head.
Stop it.
Stop it, stop it. You're the lowest of the low, you know that, Summers?
Yeah, but at least I never killed no one.
Wasn't for the want of trying, though, was it?
What sort of person would try and kill her own kids?
Someone like you.
Oh, yeah, you'd know, would you? I mean, you know everything there is to know about kids, do you, Bea?
We've all had kids. None of us treated ours the way you treated yours.
Yeah, well, maybe you didn't. Maybe you handled it better than I did. I don't know. All I know is, well, I never wanted to hurt him, never.
Well, why'd you do it then?
Because... Oh. Have you ever been stuck in a flat 24 hours a day with no one to talk to, just the kids? Kids that get sick and cry and whinge and scream and make messes and leave their toys lying around all over the place. And then your husband comes home and he can't understand why you want to get out of the place. All he does is just sit there getting stuck into the booze and screaming for something to eat and screaming at the kids because he can't stand the noise. That's when I started to hit Jason. So Tim could get a little bit of peace and quiet. Nothing else would shut him up. But he got worse. I couldn't help myself. I hit him harder. And he'd scream. I couldn't cope. Now, maybe you could have, but I couldn't. Maybe I am an animal, like you say. But do you think I like what I did? Knowing I almost killed my own kid? He's so little. And I love him. I don't like what I did any more than you do.
Pauline?
Oh, God, you startled me.
Peter about?
He's having a sleep. Oh, had to go.
It's great. Should be a pushover.
So you'll be going then?
Uh-huh. And then I'll be out of your life for good.
Judy, I don't want you out
Of course you do. You've been as jumpy as a cat ever since I got here.
Yes, I have. And do you know why?
Yeah. Because you're harboring a fugitive.
Yes, it's not just that. I care about you, Judy. I always have. You'll be running for the rest of your life, always looking over your shoulder, wondering if you've been recognized. And you'll have to live with that forever.
Well, what else am I gonna do?
Give yourself up.
Are you out of your mind? You know, I could get 5 years just for doing that cop over. I mean, if I got back in there, I'd have nothing to look forward to.
Well, you'll have nothing to look forward to on the run either.
I'll be okay.
Oh, Jude. You used to listen to me once. Remember?
Not this time, Pauline, huh? I'm going to get ready now. I do want to thank you for everything. You've been a really good friend.
Maybe she's not as bad as we thought. Well, I don't reckon she ought to get away with it. But maybe she had a real good reason for doing what she did.
Yeah, that bastard of a husband of hers didn't exactly make it easier for her.
You reckon it was the old man's fault?
Oh, isn't it always? Men.
You'll never guess what.
Bennett's got the sack.
Nope.
Well, come on.
I heard Mrs. Jackson telling Vera all about it.
About what?
Randy Reed's gone to Adelaide.
For how long?
Dunno. Probably got sick of us.
Ah, who cares anyway? Bloody social workers, they're all the same.
Oh, and what would you know?
Oh.
What's the matter with her?
Maybe she's got the hots for him.
Oh, well, I don't blame her.
Smith,
That's my name.
don't get smart. The governor wants to see you.
Well, I wonder what that's about. I've been kicking my nose clean.
Maybe Davo's going to offer you Reed's job.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised.
Gail, everything okay?
Yeah.
Well, perhaps you might feel better to talk about it.
No, it's funny, but today I did something I've never done before. I stood up for myself.
Yes?
Mr. Reed talked to me and made me see that everything would be all right just so long as I looked at it the right way.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah, good start. What am I going to do now he's gone?
You can't count on him for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but he said he'd be at my trial.
I know. But Captain Barton and I'll be there.
What about after that? I mean, he said any time I needed help, somebody would be there.
Well, there will be.
Oh, who?
There'll be me, for a start. Now, I know I'm responsible for putting you here in the first place. And I'd quite understand if you didn't want to know me.
Oh, no, you did the right thing, I reckon. I mean, if you hadn't called the police, then maybe I'd have hit Jason so
You
hard.
try not to think about it, Gail. That's all behind you now. And in a couple of days, you'll be starting a new life.
You're a real friend. Thanks.
Smith to see you, Mrs. Davidson.
Thank you. I don't suppose it's any secret that Burke has been transferred to Barnhurst.
Oh, word gets round.
Yes, I thought so. Well, as a result of Burke's behavior, the work release was very nearly abandoned. However, it will continue under close scrutiny.
Yeah, well, no point ditching a good thing just because of one ratbag like Burke.
No, but one more rat bag and it will be abandoned.
Ah, so I suppose you want me to wise up the other women.
I'm quite capable of communicating with the inmates myself. Burke's departure has created a vacancy in the factory scheme, so I have decided to give you another chance and send you in her place.
Well, I'll be...
Smith.
Sorry, just slipped out.
But I give you fair warning. If there is any attempt by you or anyone else to undermine this scheme, it will be abandoned completely, Do I make myself clear?
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Davidson. You can count on me.
I hope so. You will start work tomorrow morning with the other women. Thank you, Miss Phillip.
Thanks, Mrs. Davidson.